Croeso Channel Black Lwyd. Welcome back to Automne, which is rather suitable. It is definitely, very, very definitely autumn. We even have snow on the mountains around me here. It just came out literally earlier today, so I'm quite quickly on this one. And don't worry, there will be a video this weekend where I return into Dawn Chorus, Bjorn's Route, so that will be out on Sunday. But since this one has just come out, Chapter 2, I definitely wanted to get to it. So if you remember from last time, Corey and Stephan have been chatting on Rafa, and they plan to go out for coffee. Let's see how that goes. I relocate the last of the pancakes and bacon from the cookie tray to some Tupperware and toss them in the fridge. My tail? It's kind of freaking out behind me, shaking to an imaginary beat. It's 9:30, plenty of time to get ready. I'm incredibly giddy. Stephan is really rather attractive. After thinking about it more, the rest of me starts to freak out too. I scamper up the stairs, taking them two at a time so I can brush my teeth. The old toothbrush will have to do. I lean in, mouth opening wide as I inspect for any hidden bits of bacon between the grooves of my teeth. Clean. I slide across the polished wood floor and zip my dop kit, snagging toothbrush and toothpaste, along with the citrus and sandalwood talc powder I use to stay fresh. Back to the sink. Toiletries deposited on the counter, I squeeze some paste onto my slowly dying toothbrush and get to work. Partway through brushing, though, I begin to grin, making it hard to reach my back molars. I flick the faucet on and spit, dip my toothbrush in the stream of water, bring it to my mouth, then give a quick rinse. Toothbrush and paste are nudged to the back of the sink. I'm staying, so it doesn't make sense to pack it up again. Looking at my reflection makes me smile again. Hands find the bottle of talc and I twist it open. I tug at the hem of my shirt, pulling it forward before dipping the bottle under and giving it a gentle squeeze. The smell of sandalwood is most apparent, but if you're a fan of Earl Grey, it's not that hard to pick out the bergamot. I pinch my shirt at mid-chest and give it a few tugs, helping distribute the talc a little more, making sure any funk is covered up. There's one last glance in the mirror. Blue eyes meet blue eyes and I coyly wink. My feet lead me back into my bedroom just long enough to grab my leather jacket. I slip it on, bounce my shoulders a few times, then head back out and down the stairs. 2 at a time, of course. Snagging my shoes before I take a seat on the bottom step, my mind races with what we could possibly talk about. He likes to cook. Maybe find out his favourite food. He reads fiction. Literature is always an easy topic. He's good with his hands. That seems like the most vague thing covered, so perhaps I'll start there. As I'm pulling on my Reeboks, I realise that could be taken a lot of different ways. I loosely fasten the Velcro. What if he thinks I'm just trying to figure him out sexually? Dude, you made it on rougher. That won't bother him. Just calm down. I pat my pockets. I'm glad I do. Wallet is there, so are my keys. Oh yeah, I left my phone in the kitchen. As I get ready to head to the kitchen, a note with the key on the table catches my eye. In case you want to go for a walk, is all it says. I pull my keyring from my pocket, brow furrowing as the keys to my apartment in San Francisco swing into view. I should have given them back to Jason. There was never a good time. When I was let go from my tech job and it became apparent I was no longer going to be a financial asset, he found someone to rent my room within a week. They didn't bother to talk with me about it. Things had been rocky between us for a while, but I counted on our history to mean something. I sigh, add the house key to collection on my keyring, then stuff them quickly back into my pockets. I jog into the kitchen to collect my phone. The clock on the oven reads 9:45. It's only a few blocks to Cuppa Joe. There's plenty of time to walk down. I make sure to lock up as I leave, descend the few steps to the sidewalk and pause. Toe into the last bit of frost clinging to the grass. Fall is here. It's chilly, so I stuff my hands in my pockets, then begin the walk down to Main Street. There are a few random folks out, raking leaves in their yard, collecting the morning paper, and so on. Everything feels so different from San Francisco. Houses have space here. Hell, houses are houses. They're not wherever the hell a residential city block is in the Bay. Also smells different. There's no faint trace of urine, thank God. You can just smell, well, earth, leaves decaying, and the setting in of colder weather. I pause at Benjamin Street, glancing both ways before crossing and making my way along Green Hill Park. By this time of the year, the park is neither green, nor is there actually any hill. Another thing, blocks here are actual blocks. It's uniform. The part of me that likes to sort objects and collect them in jars appreciates that. The next block houses City Hall. Built in the 70s, it feels out of place, considering across the street are two gargantuan Victorians, which house the Women's Club and a museum. At this point, I'm a couple of blocks away from Main. Things turn more commercial, yet still carry that small-town vibe. Parking is actually available for all stores, something a city like San Francisco rarely offers. I cross Main and turn, heading towards the coffee shop. Halfway down the street, I get a prickle up the back of my neck. I'm being followed. My ears flick back instinctively and my tail curls into a tight S behind me. I listen. Footsteps of a single person. They're definitely getting closer. As I get to the corner, I have to wait for the crosswalk, and a thick baritone voice chimes. Corey? I glance over my shoulder, then up. My eyes widen slightly and I'm able to keep my jaw from dropping. 6'6". I knew he was tall, but it's always different when you meet someone in the flesh. Okay, Corey, keep it casual. Hey, Stephan. I draw my hand from my pocket and extend it. When he engulfs it in his own, my tail gives a few excited shakes. His hands are huge, and warm, and gentle. The Gulo offers a lopsided smile. It's charming as fuck, then looks up and lets loose of my hand. The crossing timer is counting down. Shall we? He rumbles while placing a giant mitt on my shoulder and guiding me across the street. His size is overwhelming. While we're walking in tandem, I steal a glance at him from my peripheral vision. God, he knows how to dress. His current outfit is more relaxed than what he wore in his rougher profile, but still shows off his best parts. Same boots, though. They seem a bit more worn. I'm sure he's checked me out as well. Since his hand has lingered on my shoulder, he must be somewhat interested. After a few more steps, he drops his hands, thumbs hook in the pockets of his jeans as we make our way the last block to the coffee shop. Approaching the building, I take a sharp breath through my nose. Accompanying the scent of coffee is a mix of his cologne, musk, and the leather from his jacket. It exudes masculinity. I don't know if it's the difference in age or if he's really just well-mannered, but he opens the door for me. The tinkling of bells follows us in from the cold. As we step into the small line, he finally speaks again. Can I buy you a drink? I'm fine going Dutch. You got it, boss. He winks, then reaches over and gives my arm a squeeze. I give him a huge buck-toothed smile in return. So, I'm interrupted by the voice behind me. Welcome to Cuppa Joe. What can I get for you today? Oh, sorry. I scan over the menu quickly. Macchiato, please, for here. The perky fossil behind the counter punches a few buttons on the register, then trills, $3, please. I fish my wallet from my jacket, flip it open and thumb out cash for the drink. Before she can hand back my change, I nod towards the tip jar. Thank you. Oh, you're quite welcome. There's a sly grin on her face now, and she winks at me before looking at Stephan expectantly. I slide down to the end of the bar, past the espresso machine, then lean against the counter. My ears swivel towards the counter, curious what tall, dark and handsome is going to order. Oh, morning, Beth. Hey, Stephan, the usual? She's still all bubbles. It's refreshing to know it's not an act and just a personality. Oh, please and thank you. The panda staff in the bar glances at me before looking towards the register. Oh, morning, Stephan. Hello, Abby. You're looking stunning as usual. The panda laughs fondly as the espresso machine hisses to life. Abby gets to prepping both beverages, so it's hard to hear the rest of what's said, especially since Beth seems to drop her voice. I'm doing my best not to flick my ears towards the conversation. What I am sure I catch is, he's cute. For an ecstatic, thank you. That draws my gaze. It's cute. There's a 20 popping out of the tip jar and she's leaned across the counter to give the Wolverine a big hug. He pats her back fondly, then lets loose and wanders down to wait with me at the end of the bar. You mentioned you're back in town for a while. He adopts a similar slouch to mine against the counter. Oh, yeah. You were up here, actually. I remember when this place opened. Folks didn't even know what a latte was. I mean, unless you got to travel. I trace a gold boomerang in the pattern of Formica. Yeah, I was living in San Francisco and things got kind of hairy like a month ago. So, here I am. The panda slides my petite macchiato across the counter to me and I straighten. A moment later, a demi-tasse follows suit. Of course, the giant man would order an espresso. With drinks in hand, we head towards the back of the shop. The mannequin sitting on the ledge above the sofa is the same, but the Mondrian mural is new. There's a quiet clatter of porcelain as we set our small mugs on the table in front of us. Jackets are removed and tossed haphazardly across seats. Stephan takes his spot in an oversized leather wingback chair, and I on the vintage 50s sofa adjacent. There's a moment of quiet as we both huff at our drinks. Then in unison we each take a sip, as if matching time. He gives a quiet laugh, then shifts in his seat so he can properly face me. I meet his hazel eyes, and there's a long moment when neither of us say anything. Finally he picks back up. I can hear how tentative his response is given my glum answer to his prior question. I hope that whatever troubles brought you back don't bother you for long, but... He clears his throat. Well, it's nice to be having coffee with someone again. God damn my tail. I'm happy you invited me. I grin shyly and try to keep the huge white appendage attached to my ass still. Sorry if my answer was short or seemed sad. I just had a lot of things happen in pretty quick succession I'm trying to figure out. And, well, I'm trying to sort out what to do now. What's happened is done. He leans forward in his seat, hands settling on my knee and giving it a reaffirming squeeze before he picks up his espresso and takes another sip. The furrow on his brow is cute. Would it be rude of me to ask exactly what happened? I shift, sliding the edge of the sofa so that my leg can rest against his. It's all very nonchalant, but all very planned. Same old story for the Bay. It was part of a startup. Things went well till they didn't. Then I wasn't part of a startup. I fiddle with my cup before taking another drink. When I told the guy I'd been seeing what happened, I thought it wouldn't be that big a deal. This happens all the time. What's wrong about that? He found a new roommate within a week and kicked me out. I have money, but unfortunately my name wasn't on the lease. I take a deep breath, but before I can go on, he interrupts. Wait, found a new roommate? So you're seeing each other and live together, but you had separate bedrooms? He's completely puzzled by this, and honestly, when put so simply, I am too. I reach up, rub the back of my neck, then look over at him. That's pretty much right. His hand settles on my leg again. Boss, that sucks. And in that moment, all the anger I'd held in after all the talks with friends back home. No, this is home, at least for now. It all bubbles up to the surface. Right? I mean, what the fuck? I've been with him for over 2 years. I should have realised it when things just evolved to fights about money, or... I tried to stop my tail from thrashing and dip my head. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have come for coffee. I've obviously got a lot of shit on my mind. There's a reassuring pat, but he doesn't draw his hand away, so I change the subject. So, what's with Boss? Oh, that's just a nickname, I guess. It felt right. You seem like a boss. He takes another drink. His last, apparently. The demi-tasse is set on the table, empty. Maybe that's why he got an espresso. An easy out, you end up with a friggin' psycho. I'm done. Time to go. I'll message you. My mood is pretty sour. Jason didn't even have a nickname for me. Oh, Jason sounds like a dick. I look up again, lock eyes, and mumble. Sorry. This probably isn't what you're expecting from a rougher hookup. Excuse me. Bathroom. I abandon my mug on the table and stand, slipping over to the men's room before he has time to respond. I don't need to go to the bathroom. It gives me a chance to rally. It also gives him a chance to escape, if he wants. I turn on the hot water, give it a moment, then let it pool in my hands before bringing them to my face. I give an audible sigh, water drifting from between my fingers, then look at my reflection. Hot mess coming right up. I grab a couple of the trifold paper towels, wring my hands, and do my best to wipe my face dry. When I emerge from the bathroom, he's gone. My tail droops to make my way back to the sofa. Feeling better? I spin in place, tail hiking and giving a few excited shakes. I thought you left. There's a broad toothy smile as he offers a plate to me, a gigantic cookie sitting dead centre. I thought you could use a little chocolate. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. I reach out and take the plate before sinking back to the sofa. You're quite welcome, and really. Are you feeling better? He takes a seat on the edge of the leather wingback, leaning my way. I have a lot of things I'm figuring out, I guess. He visibly relaxes and slides back fully into the seat. C'est la vie. He waves a hand before letting it fall to the arm of the chair. Those hazel eyes settle on me. And boss? I look up. I wasn't really expecting this to be a hookup. The Wolverine motions the cookie. You should have some. I'm sure something sweet will help perk you up. He winks at me as I reach forward and break off a piece of the gargantuan sweet. I take a bite, chew, and cover my mouth. So, you know what I put in jars? Can I ask what you do with your hands? His grin is lascivious. How forward? I choke on the cookie, which draws a deep laugh from him. He reaches over, giant hands settling on my back to give a few pats and rub before he finally answers. Well, as I said in my little bio, I'm something of an amateur chef. Like your jars, though, it's varied. I spent a lot of time foraging recently. I've had some decent luck with mushrooms. The frost, though, will mean an end for that. There are a couple of late-bearing apple trees I know of that I should visit soon. There's a flash of pink as he wets his bottom lip. Well, aside from that, I spend a lot of time working on my house. So some minor carpentry, touch-ups of woodwork. It's like a lot of the older homes around town. At this point he pauses, regarding me for a long moment. I'm a bit of a tailor too. Been trying to get better with a sewing machine. At this point I've eaten about a quarter of the cookie. I nudge a plate his way. Please help me eat this. My tail flicks behind me and my grin goes lopsided. Sorry, that wasn't me being disinterested. This is just a really big cookie. It's all really admirable. I mean, I don't really have that many hobbies. He reaches forward, fingers brushing against mine as he breaks off a part of the cookie. It sounded like you know your way around the kitchen. Well, that's certainly something. Every time he's touched me, it's been a whirlwind of emotion. I'm sure my ears are flushed, and I wish I could control what's going on behind me. He takes another bite of the sweet, then motions to my tail. That's cute. I can't help but groan and roll my eyes. It's not very helpful I'm trying to play poker. He gives another rich laugh. I'm sure. He finishes up the bit of cookie he's holding, then licks his fingertips. Oh, I hope this isn't just a hookup. That last line's delivered in such a genuine fashion. As I look over, he's wearing the same sad smile as his profile photo. I want to kiss him. Well, if you can handle someone with a bit of baggage who's trying to figure out his life, I'd be happy to call this coffee or our first date. Whichever works. My coffee's gone cold by this point, I'm sure of it. Rather than nurse it along, I grab the little cup and tip it back, finishing it quickly. He slides forward to the edge of his seat. First date works for me. He reaches my way. I freeze, and then gently thumbs across my bottom lip and jaw. Just a bit of coffee. I wasn't blushing prior, I certainly am now. My eyes raise, and past him I can see the foster at the counter grinning like there's no tomorrow. She's whispering something to a panda co-worker. The panda turns, a smile to match the other, and they both give a thumbs up. I toy with my collar, feeling extremely flushed, then lower my muzzle and poke at the cookie. Oh, thank you, Stephan. I just didn't want it to stain your fur. He reclines into the wingback chair, hands folded in his lap. My brain's a bit overloaded at this point. I don't really know if I can carry on small talk much longer. As much as I'm enjoying this as a first date, the Gulo is incredibly handsome, ostensibly a nice guy, smells great, dresses well, a Renaissance man, and actually interested in me. Before I can stop myself, I just blurt the first thing that comes to mind. How old are you? A broad grin splays across his muzzle. You know, I don't expect you to ask that question if you asked about what I do with my hands. He winks. I die. Does it matter? My tail is once more bouncing around behind me. I mean, not really. If you want to poke fun, then I'm just going to dish it back. Doesn't feel malicious, more like he's trying to help me keep my mind off the issues that popped up in our conversation. So what can I do but offer a coy smile and reach over to prod his leg a few times? Well, if you're a strapping young lad of 16, you really should tell me. I'd hate to end up in jail, after all. I don't think I have the constitution for it. His whole frame shifts. He laughs, and so do I. Oh, shit. No, you're a few decades off. He's giving me a toothy grin, then rumbles up his answer. I'm 49. I hadn't expected there to be almost 20 years difference in age between us. I think it's apparent by the look on my face, because for the second time that sad smile shows up. I hope that's not an issue. I groan quietly, then use both hands to give my face a few slaps. He's raised an eyebrow and I look back at him, muzzle slightly squished between my palms. No, not at all. In fact, I should ask you if 32 is an issue. Concern dissipates and he rumbles. No, not at all. We just gaze at each other. It's nice. Then he flicks his head past me as he stands. My turn for the loo. My eyes follow as he stands and saunters to the restroom. The grey t-shirt has ridden up his back a bit, exposing the fur just above the waist of his jeans. He reaches back and casually tugs it into place, that thick tail of his thumping against his denim-clad ass. If he really is 49, he's damn fine for his age. As the door clicks shut, the foster suddenly appears, eyes sparkling. She leans down to collect her empty cups. Is it going well? It's an exaggerated whisper, the same as what was barely muffled by his pressing machine. I grin in response, which results in a quiet shriek. Her tail thrashes around behind her. Oh good, Stephan is a really sweet guy. Her eyes dart to the bathroom door, then back. Just so you know, it's the longest he's let a date go. My eyes flutter and I lean in. Yeah, you bring a lot of guys here? She waves her hand. Oh, not really, just a few. They usually tend to last about 20 minutes or so. Then whoever he comes with ends up leaving alone. She hitches her thumb back towards the bar. The panda's smiling at us. We're rooting for you, though. At about this time, the door to the bathroom pops open, so Beth turns on her heel, smiles at Stephan, makes her way back front, tail swaying behind her. See Stephan around the back of the chair, Stephan casually adjusts the crotch of his pants. I do my best not to stare, so instead focus on the remainder of the cookie. Well, Beth, checking on how everything's going? His muzzle turns to look at her as she dips behind the bar and gets to washing our mugs. Oh, she's just making the rounds, collecting dishes that folks were done with. It's a lame out, but the truth. I hope you told her it's going well. He turns back to me with a smile. I said nothing. There's another quirked eyebrow, which gets me to laugh, so I lean in, setting a hand on his knee. No, really, I just smiled, probably like a doof. His hand settles atop mine and gives a tender squeeze. You've got a great smile. I take a sharp breath through my nose. Thank you. Please stop making me blush. Well, stop making it so appealing. Stephan! I'm completely frazzled, my tail shaking quickly behind me. I'm sorry, boss. We're just getting to know each other. I wanted to see how far I could push it. I blush hotly, then squeeze his knee, which elicits another squeeze on my hand. With his free hand, he points to what remains of the cookie. You're going to finish that? I shake my head no. And by all means, thank you again, the chocolate really did help. So at that point, as I glance back at the hand covering mine, I realise just how deep the chocolate brown of his hands is. If we don't have nicknames, maybe his could be chocolate. But I don't know when I'd use that. He leans on forward, stomach giving the slightest pooch as he collects what's left of the sweet and devours it. My jacket vibrates, drawing his eyes. Reluctantly, I withdraw my hand from his knee, snag my jacket and retrieve my phone from the pocket. Apologies, I know this is rude. He waves a hand my way. Don't worry about it. The screen hasn't powered off yet, so I catch most of the text from my mother before unlocking it to read it fully. Just got home, see you found the key, hope some fresh air's helping you clear your head. Just my mother. I place my phone face down on the coffee table. He gives a wolfish grin and scratches at his chest, causing his shirt to raise just enough to reveal a strip of golden hair above his belt. Well, if you want me to feel older, just tell me you have a curfew. I shake my head, mock disgust in my voice. No curfew. However, if I don't return home by midnight, I'll turn into a pumpkin. Oh, delicious. I sigh audibly as my tail once more gets wound up and starts dancing behind my back. Here it goes again. I mutter stop over my shoulder at it, then turn back, propping my chin in my hands. I rest my elbow on the arm of the sofa. Stephan's just smiling away, amused at the way the huge pile of fluff bounces. He gestures to my gyrating tail. I hope this isn't rude, but, well... you agree? My laugh cuts him short and I reach back, drawing my tail into my lap so I can pick through the white fur. No, not rude at all. Mars are red and Powers are grey. I hug my tail to my chest, thinking about my father. When I was born, I was a pretty white. The fancy name for it is oculocutaneous albinism. But unlike other white squirrels, I got lucky and didn't end up with red eyes. Well, that's striking. Very handsome. Thanks. I have my tail awkwardly, then look over at him. What about you? You a natural blonde or are you hiding some grey? I'm expecting that deep laugh and I'm not disappointed. I usually keep it trimmed. Don't know how I got it this shaggy. That said, no, what you see is what you get. Pretty standard as far as a Wolverine goes. I am more than blonde and brown. My eyes quickly wander over his frame, taking in what fur is showing. Blonde hair, more blonde on the chest, chocolate brown on his hands and forearms. As my gaze wanders down that strip of belly fuzz, he laughs. I may be older than you, doesn't mean my crotch has gone white. I snort, then reach over and drag a couple of fingers along his exposed midriff. I was looking at this. He curls his hand around my forearm as he dips closer, muzzle brushing against mine before he murmurs in my ear. When can we have a second date? My ears flick, batting against his face, but I'm frozen. Finally I manage to choke out. Tomorrow? I can feel him smile as he rubs his cheek affectionately against mine. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Time seems to drag as he leans back, eyes meeting mine before he nods in approval. Caught up in the moment, we both miss the reappearance of Beth. She leans down, collecting the crumb-covered cookie plate, and gives us both a huge smile. Can I get you gentlemen anything else today? Stephan releases my arm before straightening up in his chair. No, thank you. She turns to me, waiting for a response. I think I'm all set, thanks. If you two need anything at all, please just let us know. She chirps, thumb hitching over his shoulder towards the bar. Once more she heads back to the front of the store. I blink a few times, turning to face the Wolverine. Thought you were supposed to self-fuss your tables? Or has that changed in the past few years? This simple statement of what I assumed fact finally gets a blush from the Gulo. He clears his throat. That's still status quo. She's just very fond of me. As I was ordering, she also said you're quite handsome. She must be hoping this goes better than a few of my last dates. I hope that it is, or rather, I hope it's been a pleasant surprise. Oh, it's been lovely. You seem like a very genuine guy. You've been easy to talk to, and you are handsome. A contented sigh escapes my lips as I ease my way to the edge of the sofa. Can I give you my number? He nods and we both grab our phones. I recite mine, San Francisco area code and all. Send me a text, that'll be easier. He's dexterous, nails ticking against a glass surface of his phone as he composes the message. My phone vibrates as it comes through. What time tomorrow? I answer directly and look at my phone, navigate to the message and add him as a contact. Afterwards I click back to the conversation and reply, 1 o'clock? He reaches over, squeezes my arm and then quietly rumbles. Perfect. We can figure out specifics later. Let me think of something to surprise you with. Alright. This seems like the appropriate time to call date 1 a wrap, so I stand, collecting my leather jacket and slipping back into it. He follows suit and chuckles when I reach over to give his grey tee a gentle tug down, covering his paunch. I motion towards the door. After you? You'd probably drown in my tail if you walked behind me anyways. He laughs loudly, gives a little shrug. That might not be a bad thing. As we're passing the counter, he turns and calls thanks to the girls. Chimes are sent ringing as we exit, a few steps ahead of him when I make up my mind. Silently I spin around. He hasn't noticed that I stopped. He's watching both baristas through the glass of the front window. He bumps into me, causing me to take a half step back. He freezes, looking down at me, so I take the moment to be forward. My right hand settles on his hip, my left curls around the lapel of his leather jacket. I lean up and smile as I catch hints of chocolate and coffee on his breath. We kiss in front of the coffee shop. Everything in that moment feels perfect. Chef de Deux Promenade. That was it for Automne, this update. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm definitely enjoying this. It's a nice slow pace. It's genuinely nice to actually see some older protagonists in their furry VN. We are around, you know. We're not all college age kids. But yeah, I hope you'll be following this one too. I'll be doing the videos as the updates come out. I know Bieka's wants more to come out. I'm not going to go great detail. There's stuff on the HO page. A lot has been going on, which happens to any creator at any time. So yeah, completely understandable. Things take their time, but they will be here soon after release on the channel. Maybe not always this fast, but I happen to have some time free. And as I say, there'll be another VN this weekend. I do want to try and finish off Chapter 14 of Far Beyond the World maybe next week. And then next weekend is Spectrum of Hybrids again. We're back to that one, and something new will start on the 30th of September. Yeah. Also, we have to do more after years soon. I'm just a little behind on that because there are so many VNs coming out at the moment. I'm trying to keep up with it. Anyway, you can donate to this on Ko-fi and Patreon. I think he's set that up now, so I'll put the links in the description. So if they aren't there, either I forgot or they're not actually quite set up yet. We'll find out. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to get you guys to write better stuff for me here. Special thank you to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon, and especially the person who just donated on Ko-fi recently. I will send you a message. I would say your name, but I've just forgotten it, and I don't want to have to dig through my emails again. But thank you to you. And special thanks to my top patrons: Andy Peng, Aaron Fox, Bastian, Bieka, Brian Hall, Gobers Visser, Dissonance, Exact, Grizz, Harvest Mice Productions, Ida Korval, Evan King, Kartek, Makenya, Mario Cervantes, Mohamed Al-Zamel, Omar, Rafu, Spiderling, Smuto, Tiger Cub, Ara Amaterasu, Vulpers Need Coffee, and Addy Bear. So thank you to all of them, and all of you who just watch and click like and leave comments and just kind of just watch things to get the numbers up, so we can get recommended to other people who might possibly find something they like on the channel, but quite often not, it seems. Which is absolutely fine, as long as you're all enjoying these. I'm certainly enjoying doing these. But that is it. I'm kind of tired. So before I ramble on any further, thank you for watching. I'll be back in a couple of days with some more Northern stuff. Bye for now.